Hello, ladies. It's Marie. So we thought that since it's December and I'm a crazy Christmas person, as you can see, I've even decorated my office. We thought we might give you 12 days of Christmas. So for the next 12 working days leading up to Christmas Eve, we're going to give you some little nuggets along the way, a gift each day to keep in mind, to keep you, I don't know, centered and remind you what's important and remind you what it looks like outside of crazy busy and back into who you truly are. And we had to start with joy. So today's gift in the 12 days of Christmas, day one, is joy. And I talk a lot about joy in this program. In fact, I believe that, what our it's turned into a 10-week program because I keep on adding wonderful stuff for the women in it. But in our 10-week program, what we really teach is kind of getting out of crazy busy, perfection pleaser, standing in your power and accessing joy and freedom while still being as successful as you want. And all of that is possible. And joy is such an important part. I think we forget to access joy in our life. And I've been listening a lot, and I'm taking this actual deep dive into joy and happiness. It's a 3-month program, and I'm halfway through my first month. And it's really gotten to me how hard it is for us to simply access joy in our lives. In our day to day lives, we get into this doing, and it's really hard to remember that it's supposed to be fun. Like we're on this planet to be happy and be joyful. And there's this concept of unconditional joy that I am loving, which is that too often, especially in America, we have certain conditions that need to line up before we allow ourselves to feel joy. So, work done, work day done, um, on vacation, everything lined up, having a good day, having a good hair day, not feeling stressed, all of these things that, you know, when, when that's not happening, I will feel joy. And so it's conditional joy. What would your life look like if you had unconditional joy and you were able to access it at any given time? It's possible. And what I want you to know is that something we teach is really just trying to get outside your circumstances and your brain and the swirl and to get back into here and feel that full gamut of emotions, joy being the most amazing one of all. It's such a high frequency energy that can change everything and actually can lift people up. But mostly it changes you. And so in this Christmas season, it is a season of joy. And we're in a really tough space right now with COVID. It's been a rough year. And I don't know about where you're living, but where I'm living, we've shut down again. And so it feels like, we did all this sacrifice and we didn't get anywhere. In fact, we got worse. And it's really hard to access joy right now. And yet it still is the holiday season and we should make the most of it. And I hate the word should, but it's time to make the most of it. Okay. So what I want you to do is to really spend a couple times a day in joy. And so go stop the patterns of doing, take a moment and put on more music. Create a fun music playlist. Or if Christmas brings you joy and Christmas music brings you joy, turn it on. Turn off the news, turn off anything else you've got in the background, turn on Christmas music or create a really fun playlist or go to Spotify and there's like happy songs or whatever in a playlist. I know the happiest songs. There's a playlist right now that's called Happy Songs. It's really good, actually. Anything that gets your energy up. Don't watch negative things right now. Go to Christmas movies or, like, what about your favorite movie as a kid growing up in Christmas or the holiday season? I'm saying Christmas, but I mean Hanukkah and all the other holidays. So in the holiday season, as a kid, what brought you joy? Go get it. Go do it. Go and tap into that playful, childlike joy of the holiday season. and go back to your childhood and remember what that brought you. If you have children, like get down on the floor and live it with them. If you don't have children, become one again yourself and go buy something silly and young and Christmassy. Go buy yourself an elf on a shelf and do funny things with it. Um, do something that brings out that childlike play in your life. Um, it's really, really, really important that we remember we're on this planet to be happy. And happiness sometimes is a choice. And so sometimes we have to make a choice to be happy. And no matter what is going on, no matter what is going on. So choose happy, choose joy, and go access it in a variety of different ways. Build a gingerbread house, build, we don't have snow here. I'm in California, a snowman, do some crafts, cook some cookies, go for a walk. I know with me, bike riding brings out like this childlike joy in me. The other day I'm trying in my life to be more silly. When's the last time you were silly? I want you to be silly. That's the time. I feel like I have this vision of this lightness as a kid where all time is infinite, and and you feel so light and free and joyful, and joy is there just to grab in every other place. As we become adults, and especially crazy busy women, we got our head down doing, and we have this conditional joy going on. So what I want you to do is lift your head up and go seek joy. So I have this vision in my head when I was a kid of skipping and like la 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 and skipping. It's so light and joyful. And so the other day I was skipping in the house just to and it was, by the way, it didn't feel like skipping. There was some stuff going on and I was super stressed about something that I was trying to force to happen. And I just had to step away from my desk and I shook it out like, okay, there's nothing I can do. I got to let this go. And I walked out of my office and I started like, what can I do to tap into that childlike joy silliness? And I started skipping down the hallway. I mean, it changed my mood like this. I felt ridiculous, by the way, but it totally worked. And so I want you to be silly. I want you to feel ridiculous. I want you to challenge yourself today to do something silly. Something silly. And I want you to go on Amazon or go to your local store and buy something childlike, silly putty, whatever, and just access that part of yourself. I know there's lots and lots of research that says that creativity and crafts, even if you're like, I don't have a creative bone in my body, I don't care. Make a game, a house of cards, do something silly, paint, I don't know, Legos. I don't know. But find something that accesses joy in your life and is something from your past that you can bring forward into your adult self to tap into that childlike joy. You are responsible for your happiness. You are. And it often is a choice. And definitely this year, you could spend every waking moment easily accessing the things that are wrong, the things that we miss, all our go-tos. Here's the thing, all our go-tos for joy have been taken away from us with COVID. I know for myself, when I think about how I balance my work and life is through travel and trips and concerts and movies and dinner with friends and, all these holiday traditions that gather people. We can't do any of them. And that's been ripped away. So we've got to get creative, people, and we got to bring it into our house. And it's super easy. Do something. Go play a game. Go play a silly game you used to play when you were little. Get on the phone, a Zoom call, and play a game with somebody. There's that fun, I think it's called Jack TV, that you can purchase, that you can play games with people on Zoom. And it's super fun and silly. I go play a video game, do something to bring you joy. Okay. And even like try mine, like put on fun music and jump up around and be ridiculous. Just laugh. Just start laughing, and ultimately laughter will come. Real laughter will come. Or skip down the hallway, jump. Remember as kids, we try to jump and learn how to jump, or do something, jump rope. I know this sounds ridiculous, But it needs to happen, people. We have to access joy in our life. Joy is such a scary emotion for some people who are in survival mode. Like true joy is almost often scarier than fear. And, it's the most fearful emotion that people have, to feel true, unbridled joy, because we feel like it's going to be taken away from us. Like when there is something, like, have you ever, if you do have children, if you ever looked at your child and you just love them so much and all of a sudden you imagine something bad happening to them? Brene Brown calls that foreboding joy. And so often we put these thoughts in our head that stop us from just feeling the happiness and joy in these little moments. And this year, more than any other, it's really important that we're not destroying our own joy through this thing. I want you in here. And, just look around and slow down and look at all the blessings in your life and find joy in that. I mean, there are so many traditions that I love this time of year. We do these gingerbread houses, Christmas cookies, watching the silly movies that I used to watch as a kid that I just love. And now I've introduced to my daughter. I don't know why, but Sound of Music is like a holiday movie for me, and I absolutely love Sound of Music. So I watched it the other night, and I found myself going to news because I got in this pattern during the election to just watch news all the time. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to watch something silly. Hallmark Channel. People make fun of me, but I love it during Christmas. Mindless joy. Like, go buy a jump rope. I don't care. You are responsible for bringing joy in your life. It's easy to access if you slow down, stop, and make a choice to bring joy into your life. So, what your job is today is to know how important joy is and how we easily let it slip in our lives or make it conditional. After this, I can enjoy that. Screw that. Enjoy it now. Take a moment today at lunchtime or this evening to just do something silly. It's a muscle we have to rebuild in our life, is the silly muscle, the joyful muscle, the, freedom muscle. Joy is your access to that. Accessing joy comes from here. It doesn't come from here. You can make a choice here and then access it from here. So please, please, please don't let this holiday season overwhelm you and this year destroy you and just survive the holiday season. Seek joy every day. It's everywhere. And you know what? Use some tricks. Use some tricks. Like I just said, I named 100 of them, right? Because the normal stuff that we've been able to do in our life that brings us joy has been taken away for a lot of us because of COVID. So you got to go back to the oldies but goodies, okay? What in your childhood brought you joy? Do it. Hopscotch, skipping, jump rope, building things, crafts, bike rides, whatever it is. Get on the floor and play with your dog. Like, don't say you're too busy. Don't say I'm going to do all of those things that actually bring me happiness after I get all my work done. There are no rewards for that in life. There aren't. There aren't. You can do both. So make a choice to do both, okay? Joy is so important. And I have been working, I know this sounds silly, but I have really been working on all the barriers that I bring to bring joy in my life. I feel happy most of the time now because I've done the work and I really live in my power. But silliness, that type of joy, that next level joy, I don't know if I was ever good at. As a kid, I grew up too fast and I became an adult sooner than I probably should have. And so, like, getting work done, doing versus being has been my go-to for so long. And I've let a lot of that go. But I want to really access joy in this next chapter of my life. And I am really like trying to get smart about that. And I know that sounds silly, but it's as women who have a lot on their plate, it is buried under so much stuff and it is so conditional. So I ask you today, in this last couple seconds of your first gift, is give yourself the gift of joy. It is easy, but it takes practice to build that muscle again. Get out of survival mode and just take a moment or two today to do something silly, to do something fun, and if you can't figure it out, then force it on you with music or skipping, jumping up and down, laughing, putting on a comedy, like the most silly comedy that you've ever seen. Okay. That's your job. I want to keep these to 15 minutes so everybody has the time to watch them. So today I give you the gift of joy. And that is a gift you can access anytime if you're deliberate. You choose happy, you choose joy, and go access it. Okay. Bye. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific time for our next gift of the 12 days of Christmas. Bye.